Hey, this is Aaron with BSTracker. In this video, I'm going to analyze Donald Trump's Wikipedia page with AI and screen it for bias. Take everything here with a grain of salt. My goal is never to tell you what to think, but to help you see what's going on beneath the surface. Remember, bias doesn't always mean something is false, it just affects how the message is framed. That being said, I am going to, because it's too big, I copied and pasted the entire Trump wiki page into a text file. I'm going to upload that. I'm going to say, please BS track the Trump wiki page I attached. Now we got to give it a minute to read. And the detective biases. Negative bias in language, terms like authoritarian, contributing to democratic backsliding, falsifying records, misleading statements, and racist appear repeatedly. Framing bias, events like the January 6 attack are framed primarily through one lens, legal or moral failure, often without detailing competing interpretations or his supporters' defenses. Source biases, the narrative heavily relies on U.S. mainstream media and academic perspectives. Dissenting views, like populist or conservative rationales, are seldom explored. Selection bias, a disproportionate amount of space is dedicated to scandals, criminal investigations, and criticisms compared to policy outcomes or support-based rationale. Emotional manipulation, use of charged language like fascist, racist, cult of personality, targeting civil society, and fear-mongering evokes strong emotional responses. Repetitive references to lawsuits, convictions, and controversial quotes may amplify emotional impact. Absence of counterbalancing quotes or defenders of Trump's action add to perception of narrative control. We're going to skip this because this is not an interview. So intentional dishonesty. There was no outright fabrications detected, but omission of context for some controversial statements, like very fine people on both sides, may border on representation or misrepresentation. Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act is framed without significant legal or administrative justification from his side, which could mislead readers. Logical fallacies, the appeal to authority. Scholars and historians ranked him one of the worst presidents, implies an absolute consensus that may not exist. Slippery slope, terms like democratic backsliding or authoritarianism, suggest future dangers without detailing causal links. Ad hominem, by heavily focusing on Trump's behavior, language, and alleged racism, the article risks relying on personal attacks over policy analysis. Suppressed or ignored context, little or no mention of Trump's strong approval ratings within the GOP during both terms, context behind January 6 supporters' claims, like fraud allegations, rightly or wrongly, legislative achievements outside of tax cuts, support for Trump among minority voter segments in 2020 or 2024, public debate around issues like immigration and inflation that benefited Trump politically, persuasion techniques, the repetition of negative themes, convictions, lawsuits, racism, accusations are repeated to solidify a particular narrative. Loaded phrases like weaponized, purged, conspiracy theories, falsely alleged, guide the reader emotionally. Authority citation, frequent references to historians, judges, legal experts, etc. to solidify claims. Heavy focus on legal troubles, over 4,000 legal actions, criminal charges, impeachments. Controversial statements and racial ethnic remarks. Ethical violations and financial fraud. Light focus on economic trends pre and post-COVID, deregulatory policies and their impact, Trump's actual policy goals, or their popularity among voters. Quoted versus paraphrased speech. So most Trump quotes are presented with limited framing, often negative. Fight like hell, go back, shithole countries. Paraphrase summaries of actions are often editorialized, used government to target political opponents versus quoting orders or statements directly. Rhetorical integrity fails to present a neutral tone across controversial areas, uses subjective descriptors frequently, does not provide equal weight to Trump's defenders or opposing viewpoints, feels more like a critical essay than an encyclopedia entry in certain sections. The argument honesty rating is a 5 out of 10, based on weighted average and factual accuracy, fairness and context, rhetorical balance, and presence of bias. This Wikipedia entry scores as partly honest but highly editorialized. It blends verified facts with a pattern of negative emphasis, limited nuance, and lack of counterbalance, especially in the sections discussing Trump's second term and broader political impact. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has anything to add to this, please leave a comment. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I will see you in the next video.